I think the work is going to a bigger structure. So from this little nest that was just for one person to these kind of cages that I've been exploring that you see now in my studio that are sort of prototypes for a bigger kind of gathering place.
It's incredibly important to allow space for one to enter the work. For someone to be able to kind of, not necessarily project their own experiences, but kind of extract information that allows them to kind of think about things that are ongoing, for me is of the utmost importance.
I feel like all artworks in some way are a self-portrait, and that I think the things that live really long have embedded in them a lot of real observation and a lot of consideration for the viewer and how they will perceive it.
I grew up in an experimental theater, so I was being an actor since I was born. And I feel like somehow the work is a lot of theatrical. It has those elements of theater or like fantasy when it's a lot of glitter or a lot of like maximalist.
In the watercolor pieces I've been doing lately, I'm really kind of trying to break the typical composition of an image where there is one set perspective and everything kind of exists in this singular frame. I like to incorporate several different image planes into almost a vista that the viewer has to travel around and try to navigate through.
The work that is on view right now is a photogrammetry scan of my wife in the hospital just before she gave birth to our daughter 5 months ago. That for me was a kind of turning point in where I really started to understand the photogrammetry scan as a record.
So I'm collaborating with Julian in the sound program, and when we started having conversations and invite me to the studio, I realized that conceptually we were talking in the same direction.
My background is in electronic music too, so I use a lot of different processes from synthesizers to digital applications and softwares and stuff like this.
Not only he was the sound and I was the video, but I invite him to my studio also to have comments about the way I was editing the new work.
When a piece starts, I'll start with an idea and I'll find kind of the seed of what I want to be talking about, the message that I want to convey in the work. And then I kind of do a lot of free-form thinking and writing of visual images, symbols, and metaphors that I can use to convey that. I think that the value of a visual work is how long that it makes you want to engage with it.
The digital renderings are artworks in their own right, but I plan to use them to build off of them in the future for other works. So I made a model of myself that was very realistic, and I made my environment, my living room there. And I put cameras in the model of myself's eyes and caused it to blink. I made that as an artwork in of itself, but it also showed me how that viewpoint really looks from another point of view.
I love installation work. I love experiencing artwork that is really immersive, and that's been such a fun thing to explore while I've been here, of just getting really expansive and thinking about printmaking or thinking about art as creating an experience.
It can be difficult to call yourself an artist, and I think that being surrounded by really impressive faculty, having artists, galleries, curators come through, people that I respect and that I want to hear from, and also being around other students that I think are making good work, I think that that's reframed the way that I look at myself.
I think one of the best things about being at Columbia and art school in general is that I have so many opportunities to really perfect my understanding of what I'm doing, how to talk about it.
What Columbia does exceptionally well is it's able to capture a cohort that is incredibly disparate. But its disparateness is what allows all of this really incredible conversation to occur. Because it's so on the kind of fringes of everybody's work, we're all aware of each other's process. But because of its difference, it really inspires rethinking, reshaping your own approach.
I'm so excited to work toward my thesis and just have the space to play and expand out of what I thought I was gonna make, and then you know, you're kind of around the most amazing people here, and they're doing amazing things, so you're like, well, why not? Why wouldn't I do that too?